Everybody, welcome to a Dollar Club Wrestling Extra. Some lot of crazy stuff happened in the wrestling world this past 2 days, believe it or not. So we're going to talk about it before it becomes irrelevant in this world of 24-hour news cycles. Jeff Hardy, guys, third DUI in 10 years. That's a felony. He could seek major jail time. He got pulled over at 9:53 in the morning, still drinking, still totally hammered from the night before. He could have been up all night. Who knows? And also Vince McMahon, sex scandal. Him and Johnny Ace, sex scandal, not together. There was a paralegal woman. Apparently they paid her $3 million to shut up. They were having sexual relations for a while, and they bribed her, and she signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to be quiet about it. And either somebody on the board of directors leaked it, trying to possibly get rid of Vince to take over power, or maybe she leaked it herself to someone, which means she would owe $3 million. We'll start with you, Johnny. Talk about either one of the topics. What do you find interesting about any of this stuff? Crazy world, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really a shame for I don't want to say it's a shame for Jeff Hardy, but I feel like he has gotten so many second chances, like as a person and as a wrestler. Like we all remember the 2009 main event in TNA when he came out to wrestle Sting, all fucked up on drugs. For a lot of people, that would have just ended their careers. But, people believed in Jeff Hardy so much, WWE and whatnot. They brought him back. He was kind of slipping there again. And now here we are in 2022. He's in AEW, lighting up with Darby Allin. You have to believe they were supposed to win the tag titles on Dynamite besides, and they had to give it to the Young Bucks. It's just crazy. And we went to that show at the ECW arena, and there were so many little kids in that line with their moms and whatnot to get their pictures and their autographs. And what do you do if you're like a parent and, your kid's like hero or idols like still getting DUIs, still fucking up? It's really a shame. And, we all make mistakes, but not all of us are like role models of tens of thousands of kids. Like you really have to get your shit together, man. Like I feel like Jeff Hardy really fucked up, and it almost makes me less of a fan.
He's one of the few wrestlers that I feel that everyone roots for. Like he was such an undersized guy. He defied all odds. He puts his body on the line. Everyone just respects what the hell he does. You can tell he loves the business. Maybe he loves it too much. Maybe addiction to pain pills, and the immune to fear, all those monikers might be partially leading to his downfall. Jim, isn't it depressing? Like one of our heroes just can't stop fucking up, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, I mean, it is. He's not one of my heroes, but it's a disease, man. It's something that's really hard for people to kick. He obviously has a major problem that, he's probably tried a million times to get help for, and he just can't seem to get it together. The one thing that bothers me is, I'm not going to sit here and be holier than thou and act like I never got behind a wheel after drinking, because I have stupidly many times, and it's one of the dumbest things you can do. But he is in a position to where I feel like he can hire a driver, or, I feel like there's so many different things he could do. And if he's going to, fall off the wagon, I don't know if he really needs to put himself in that position to where he's may drive. So that makes it a lot worse. I just feel like if he's going to fall off the wagon, he probably knows he is. Maybe plan ahead of time to have a driver or Uber.
Jim, do you put he was actually out that night. Devon Dudley was with him, and Matt Hardy, probably a bunch of other people too. Do you put any blame on them? They have to know he's a suspended license, but
if they see him drinking, unless they're fucked up too, then nobody's thinking straight. So, but obviously his brother knows he has an issue. He probably should be looking out for him a little better if he's there with him.
Johnny, how about you? Do you put any blame on Matt or Devon or anybody else that was there with him that night?
It's hard to say because I wasn't there. I don't know the situation. But at the end of the day, the number one person you have to put blame on is Jeff. you're a grown man. You have to look out for yourself at the end of the day. And, the last thing anyone wants to hear is, oh, it was Matt's fault or Devon's fault. Like, you're a grown man. You can get an Uber.
Yeah.
So, not really. No, I put it on Jeff.
Yeah, those guys could have flat out begged him, like, "Hey, come drive with us too," and he could have been like, "No, I'm getting an Uber, an Uber, an Uber. I'm going to call my wife." He probably ad, ad
Yeah,
alcohol.
I wouldn't put any blame on them, but just out of morality, they should probably, look out for this guy that they know the problems he has. But it's totally Jeff's fault. It's his responsibility. But morality wise, I feel like your buddies, you should try to look out for when you can.
These guys, well, most of the guys in AEW had to know he's been driving. Apparently, he still has a license even though it's suspended to get rental cars. Apparently, so there's no way in hell like Tony Khan and all these guys don't know he's driving to town. If you're a billionaire company, like find the guy some rides to the places you're going to.
Hire him a driver to just be like, listen, dude, wherever he goes, you drive him.
Take it out of his pay cut. He paid, like, hey, you're making this month, we're gonna take 50 grand a year out just for your fucking rides or something. I mean, we can't blame them, but that should be worked into his contract. If you guys are willingly knowing he's doing this, I think then you have a tiny bit of blame.
Or maybe they just shouldn't hire him anymore.
He's such a. I hear. We haven't met him. We've seen him. We've been in close vicinity of him, but I hear he's the nicest guy. Where everyone wants to root for him, they believe him just because he's such a friendly guy. He's not your typical like old school meathead. Thinks I'm better than everybody else. Apparently, he's like a genuine nice person. And
but I feel like sometimes when you keep giving somebody another chance, and at some point they have to feel the loss of something to want to change.
You don't think in TNA that wasn't enough? That should have been the loss,
I mean, look where he is, though. He still doing it, still getting jobs, still getting met. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, such a shame, man. Jim, he's not a hero of yours. You just were never a fan, or just because of how far he's fallen from grace?
No, it has nothing to do with his drugs or anything like that. I mean, I respect him. I think the stuff he does, is cool and definitely exciting to watch. He was just never one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm not big on that type of wrestling.
Okay, so what do you think happens now? Like they announced he's going to be suspended, and if he doesn't go to rehab, he'll most likely be fired. Is that what you've done, Johnny, to him, or would you give him a fifth chance, or would you fire him on the spot?
No, I mean, no, you can't. If you're like a responsible owner, like he's just a liability. And even me as a fan, it kind of pisses me off. Like, there's a part of me that's like, fuck, dude. Like, I hope no one ever promotes you again. You know what I mean? Like, Jeff Hardy makes more money than I do, and he makes more money than like wrestlers that are working harder than him and are more responsible than him. And I know that might sound harsh, but that's kind of what it is. Like, maybe he doesn't deserve a line full of kids anymore, and maybe he doesn't deserve the tag titles in AEW. Or a main event against Sting and TNA for the title. Like, he had all these chances, and people really treat him like the best and want to believe in him, like you're saying. And there's a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts that are really likable, but at the end of the day, like, you have to kick that habit and be responsible. And if you're not going to, then you don't deserve what's been given to you. So no.
Sounds like he lost a fan in you. I remember how excited we both were when he signed with AEW. We were so excited to see the Hardys back, and we actually, thank God, we got that dream match early with the Young Bucks again. Are you done with them? Is there anything you do to regain your trust, or are you just he's out?
I mean, maybe I'm playing up a little for the sake of like the podcast. Like, there's a lot of truth in what I'm saying. But I'd be lying if, like, part of me, if we found out Jeff Hardy's coming back in 2 weeks, that, I would be a little excited. I would watch the match. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like he deserves it, if I'm being frank.
I feel what you're saying, too. I don't feel he deserves it, too. But I love the guy. I'm a bigger fan than Jim is. I would hire him just because he's fucking Jeff Hardy. And it sucks that maybe it's the American culture. We just idolize like these false idols so much, and we shouldn't. I admit we shouldn't. Like Jeff, I've never met Jeff Hardy. You know, like I've waved to him, he didn't wave back.
No.
You know,
Jim, what do you think? You got a picture with him?
You know, hey, you know, I honestly, I feel like in my opinion, he probably should not get another chance for a while till he proves that he is, you know, clean and responsible. But the truth of the matter is, if you draw money, you know, you're going to get another shot. So
Yeah.
that's
Let me
just
ask
the
you
way it
guys.
works.
Let me ask you guys this just to lighten the mood. What's your favorite off the top rope move, and where do you put the Swanton bomb in that conversation? Like for me, it's got to be top three.
yeah, but especially Jeff Hardy doing it. 5-star frog splash, probably off the top of my head.
Yeah, that, and I like the why do I keep forgetting the name of Shane McMahon's fucking cross
Coast to
the ring?
coast.
Yeah,
Coast
coast
to
to
coast.
coast.
Well,
I
Rob,
love
that was
coast
Rob
to
Van
coast.
Dam's too. I forget, what did Rob call it? That was Rob's
Was that
first.
the Van Daminator?
Might have been. Fuck, it's been too long since I've seen him do it.
You always got to go with the classic Macho Man.
He does it better
Clean
than
elbow.
prettier than anybody else.
Yeah.
Like the like even like the 450s and stuff would be great, but too many people kicked out of them. You know, I know that sounds ridiculous because a lot of people kicked out of the Swanton, but Jeff did the Swanton off some crazy fucking spots. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just
Yeah.
recently against Darby Allin.
Darby's coffin drop's pretty cool too, but it's just not flashy enough for me to put in my top three.
I
real
do
quick,
kind of like it though. It really works for like his character and all.
I have a question for you guys. This will see how much you guys like are down on Jeff Hardy right now. Suppose he randomly stumbles upon this podcast. He calls us tomorrow and says, "Hey, interview me for free." Would you guys
Absolutely, in a second.
take him on? All right.
Yeah, you can hop on. I'll take it all back.
Like, why wouldn't you? Even to just talk about that on it. You can ask
Offers
him
for free.
yeah.
If he asks for money, then probably not. Well, it depends how much.
But do you think we'll see him on like the Broken Skull podcast anytime soon or anything
Not
like that?
anytime. Not anytime soon.
No, because he's not affiliated with WWE right now, is he?
No, but I don't even think he's going to be like the icons of wrestling and stuff if he was even scheduled to be. I bet you they pull him off that for a little bit too. Those like autograph meet and greets and stuff. To be honest.
And you know what's not that I know a whole lot about Matt Hardy, but I follow him on TikTok, and he just seems like the most average dude. It's just like him at the amusement park with his wife. Like he seems like he's just like such like a normal guy. So it's crazy. Jeff is like so off the deep end, you know.
Well, Matt had his demons. He went through it. He realized family came first, and he beat them. Jeff's got to realize that. I think Jeff's a rock star still. He thinks he's still doing like music and stuff too. Like I'm on to talk, but I haven't grown up either. But he's a guy that hasn't grown up yet. Apparently, and Matt finally did.
Yeah.
And if that's what he wants to do, that's maybe not going to be wrestling much longer, buddy. You know, especially getting older. Cool. I guess we did enough with Jeff Hardy. How crazy is this Vince McMahon thing, though, guys? So he had sexual relations with a paralegal for doesn't say how long, and then the girl complained and said she threw me away like a toy and gave me to John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace, which he was married to the Bella's older mom, by the way. So I guess he was cheating on Mrs. Bella.
Wait, this is something that happened recently?
2 days ago. It just
No, it came out, but is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was fired probably within the last year. That it just came out. Like the board knew about it for months because they had to find out about her salary. She was a paid employee. She was making $100,000 a year, and then when they started fucking, he jumped her. He doubled her salary to $200,000 a year, and then she felt. I think she got offended. She felt some type of way when he pawned her off on Johnny Ace, and she quit. So then Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace paid her $3 million to shut up, and she signed an NDA. So the board knew about
of this girl. What's she look like?
No one knows who the girl. Well, I'm sure people probably can figure it out now, but she's not allowed to come out and say it because
NDA. She has an NDA.
Yeah. So either someone from the board leaked it, trying to seize power. Was Stephanie McMahon mad they made her step down? Is it that new guy Nick Khan trying to take over? Is it one of her friends leaking it, which would mean that she broke her NDA? It's a crazy situation. Is Vince going to get? They're going to try to force Vince out. Do they stop his Netflix documentary? Does Vince just say, "Fuck you guys, I'm Vince. You can't tell me what to do"? Jim, what are your thoughts on this at all?
Well, obviously, I don't agree with cheating and doing that. Obviously, more morally, it's obviously wrong. But what law did he break?
Well, if he gave her a raise, that you broke a lot of like stock brokerage laws, like with your board of trustee laws, with you can't just give someone a raise for fucking them. You'd have to give everybody a raise, like.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's the moral clause, but I don't think there's anything like it was consensual sex, right?
Yes.
Not like he raped her.
No, you can't give her a raise because you're fucking her. That's illegal.
That's a human resource thing. I don't know if you go to jail for that.
Nah, probably not when you go to jail.
But I mean, it's like a moral thing. Obviously, no, you don't give someone a raise because you're fucking them. But I'm just saying, is it something to where, I mean, obviously he could be kicked out from the board because he's given people money for that reason. But as far as like being canceled or anything like that, I'm not quite sure that constitutes him losing everything because of that. It's obviously wrong morally. I don't agree with it. But I'm sure he's done it his whole life. I'm sure this isn't the first time he's done it.
Yeah, apparently him and Linda haven't lived together for years. Supposedly, they're more of like a show couple. He's like an old school Republican where it would look terrible if he got divorced. And she was in politics too, so it would look bad. John, I'm going to ask you a different question first. Suppose the board did push him out. Who takes control? Because the Nick Khan is like a business guy. He's like a wheeler and dealer guy. He's got a lot of power now, but he doesn't really know the wrestling business. You still got Triple H in there. You got Bruce Pritchard. They just hired Jeff Jarrett. Do you hire somebody from the outside? Do you call Stephanie back? Do you call Shane back? What do you think?
Are you asking what I would do, or
what do you think they're going to do? And then what would you do? Give me both.
I would assume it's either going to be John Laurinaitis or Nick Khan.
Well, no, they would probably fire John Laurinaitis. If Vince gets pushed out, John Laurinaitis would get pushed out because he's married living with the Bellas. He might be fired while we're filming this right now. To be honest,
yeah,
he can be fired. Yeah. Vince can't. It's not as easy.
Yeah, then one would have to assume Tony Khan.
You mean Nick Khan? Tony
Khan's
the AEW.
Yeah, AEW.
Yeah, easy mistake.
Yep. So yeah, it's going to be Pete Khan and Khan probably running the two rival businesses.
Yeah.
You don't think like they bring in Shane? Like, what about they're not going to keep it in the family?
That's what I would hope would happen.
I think it'd be better product if they did. I think I hope they would give it to Triple H. Honestly, I think he's got the best business sense of mind. But he just had that heart condition too. Can he take this pressure?
I'm no doctor or anything. I don't know, but the wrestling fan in me wants Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H to all take it, and they can come out to the "It's My Time" theme song, and Triple H can be wearing a denim jacket, and it will be 2001 all over again.
You know what they should do? They should bring in Vince Russo to run the damn company.
Either him or Cornette.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Cornette running it.
They should both run. They hate each other.
Yeah. You know how good business would be if Cornette ran SmackDown and Russo ran Raw, and they actually went head to head against each other?
That would be great.
That'd be the best thing ever.
It would be a can't miss every fucking week.
Yeah, it'd be a legit draft. It'd be the best possible fucking show every week. It'd be, oh my god, can we get a petition for this? Yeah, then but I think Shane would do a good job too. I always liked his kind of whatever I saw interview wise from him. I liked all of his decisions. If Bruce Pritchard gets it, he was always Vince's right hand man. I think it's just gonna be same old, same old. I think it's time for a change anyway. Like some young blood in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I wouldn't care too much if Vince wasn't running things anymore. I don't think he should be.
So there's really a chance that this whole sex scandal can save the WWE in the long run.
Absolutely, or it could kill it. It could go either way, depending on who they hire. New blood would be great. As long as you keep some old opinions in there. Don't fire Triple H. Bring in some good minds, you know.
Do we think they'll somehow make this like a work and bring it on the show?
If they were smart, they would.
Yeah. Yeah, they bring Trish
But
Stratus
they're trying
back.
to be Disneyland. They can't throw in like, oh, the owner, this isn't a sex scandal. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, hopefully this brings us some like cool storylines. Just the fact is they need to bring some trust back to their audience. You know,
Yeah.
throw some money at some stuff we like, make us happy.
I feel like this was a storyline in the Attitude Era. Like Vince.
Yeah, he was banging Trish Stratus and cheating on Lyndon. Remember, she was in a coma. Wasn't that it? She was
Yeah, he always had like he was always banging somebody.
He hired Stacy Keebler as like a secretary.
Yeah,
because she was the hottest one.
Oh my
like,
God,
brought out
she's
two
so
other
hot.
chicks before. Yeah.
I think Karma's a bitch. I'm kind of glad this happened to him. He got away with murder for years. You know, it's about time he eats some shit. He's even ruthless with his own family. Shitty to ex-employees too.
And you hear all this stuff about like hazing with like the guys and the infamous X-Pac took a shit in that one girl's purse. Like it's just like an HR nightmare.
That was Randy Orton. That was Randy Orton.
Oh, nice.
X-Pac shaved the eyebrow and cut off the ponytail of Doc Hendricks, Michael P.S.A.'s, but Randy Orton's the one that's shit in the bag.
Damn. The original bro.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, here's some more news too that just came out today. Randy Orton's hurt pretty bad. He might be out through January. Yeah, his back. That when they looked into it, it's a lot worse than they thought. So maybe Riddle will be getting an extended singles run. It might be a good thing for Riddle, but RK Bro might be done for a little bit.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, hopefully it's going to lead to a big comeback. I mean, that'll be something to look forward to, but it really felt like they were just getting steam and really pushing into like the main event, going up against the Bloodline and whatnot. So that really sucks. Like Randy Orton's, possibly, if not my favorite, one of my favorite current wrestlers in there right now. You know, he's really been holding it down for so long that he was really a reliable guy. So that's a shame he's injured.
Would you put Randy in one of the top of all time, like top 10?
Yeah,
yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Randy and Triple H both are in my top 10. I don't know if Jericho's in my top 10. Yeah, it's close. I'd have to sit down and think about it. I don't know if Jericho's in my top 10. It'd be maybe 11 or 12.
Sit down and yeah.
Would Hulk Hogan be in your top 10?
Yes. Off the top of my head, Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H.
Rock ahead of Stone Cold?
No particular order. Okay. Undertaker, Flair, Shawn Michaels. Then I have to think about the rest, but those 8 definitely would be in it.
Cena,
yes. Cena, no, good call.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a big fan. Roman, not yet, but I bet he will be.
Yeah, is Taker in there?
Yeah, I said Taker. Yeah, okay. Mick Foley, I'd have to sit down. Who would you put higher, Mick Foley or Jericho? Probably Jericho over Foley.
That's a hard one.
That is a hard one. I think Foley had a great few years. I mean, he was always good, but as far as like superstardom,
yeah,
he had a good few years. I think Jericho was maybe had a little more time.
I agree. He's just been better longer, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we all love Kane, but he didn't win enough championships. They booked him bad. I'd love to have Kane in there. Like, favorite-wise, he might have been if he stayed at his peak.
Yeah, definitely not top 10. Maybe top 25, maybe.
Definitely top 50. I'd have to sit down. Like, it'd be anywhere from 25 to 50.
He's in my top 3 mayors, though.
Yeah. How about like Sting?
I don't know if I'd put him in my top 10, but I mean,
he's
if you do,
Kane for me.
Yeah, like
Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah, he's up there. I like him better than Sting and Kane personally. Kurt Angle, no pun intended. Kurt Angle is gold, man.
He's awesome.
He was definitely awesome. What about Edge?
Edge and Jericho right around the same kind of wrestler as me. Edge is probably top 20, maybe like number 20. Daniel Bryan's not top 10. Bryan Danielson, excuse me.
Yeah, I put Edge and Jericho way above Bryan Danielson personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to see him Punk too.
What about Bret Hart?
Oh yeah, he's
He carried WWE for during a bad time, but
he's not my
I'm not.
favorite, but he'd have to be in the top 10. He's probably that one or two spots I was missing.
He's right around Edge for me.
Yeah, I think I'd have to put him in the top 10. Just
I like Edge and Jericho better, but I think I'd have to rate him better just kayfabe and statistically wise and impact.
well, what things would you use to rate the guy? Like, what would be your criteria?
Well, kayfabe wise, championship wise, so the belts count. Belts count majorly. But the era counts too. If you were the guy, more like how long you had the belt, not how many times. Like Cena's 2,000 or 1,000 days is more important than 10 of Ric Flair's 16 reigns. You know,
Like, would like
It's
top-
almost like seeing like a good actor in a bad movie. You know what I mean? It's like that sort of thing. Or then vice versa. Like the guy maybe did a subpar acting job, but it's like your favorite movie. It's like, a subpar wrestler in your favorite era of wrestling versus like a great wrestler in a shitty era. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of
yeah.
tough.
Like I mean, belts make him more relevant too, just because they were on the show more and they stuck around. Like I love Val Venus, but he was only like a 2-time Intercontinental Champion, so I can't put him over even like the Miz. You know?
Yeah,
Like if,
which I like the Miz too much, but I'd put Val Venus surprisingly high, probably.
for favorites, but
I
not
love
like a
the
list of
80s.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, Val Venus is in my top 40 without a doubt. If I really sat down and wrote it,
would
I'd
you
put him up
consider? Would you consider any old timers like Bruno Sammartino or
I
guys
have
like
not.
that? Or yeah, I never. I mean, that's a different kind of wrestling back then.
Top 50 just because he'd have to be on there. Bob Backlund would have to be on there, you know, just because. But
Here's a
not,
good-
I feel like I'd put Yokozuna up there.
I
Surprisingly,
love Yoko. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that could be a top
his
30.
matches were great. I actually wanted to bring him up next wrestling one, but fuck
What
it, let's
about
do it right
what
now.
about the Ultimate Warrior?
Nah, he didn't
I-
last long enough.
I don't know if he'd make the top 10, but he would definitely make my top 15 just because of how big he was, even for that short amount of time.
Yeah, for me, it was too
He
short, but I respect that.
He actually had me rooting for him over Hulk Hogan.
Oh, how about
And
Andre the
at that
Giant?
time, like that was unheard of.
Where do you put Andre the Giant?
He's definitely, it depends what your criteria is. He's definitely probably one of the most recognized wrestlers ever. The name wise, anything wise, legendary. But I mean, like you said, I'd have to really sit down and
Let's do
Look
a
at it.
future episode where we all do our top 25, and we'll do it like a point system, like our first place vote gets 25 points, second place guy gets 24 points, and we'll send each other the list ahead of time, and I'll do the math, and we'll show our combined top 25 and do a whole episode on it.
That'd be cool.
That'd
yeah,
be cool.
definitely.
And then later, then we'll do a tag team one after that eventually too, like and then we can do an intercontinental one, but we'll definitely start the world one. That'll be one of our next shows. Actually, it's a good idea. That way, it's
Cool.
fair and biased, and we all could have our different criteria. It's your own personal criteria on that one.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say like what makes your favorite wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always said too, Tatanka was one of my favorites, and he never even won a belt. He might have won a tag team championship when he came back this second round. I don't think so. I just liked him. I was younger as a kid. He had a nice character, had a unique look. His moveset wasn't the best, but just weird. Sometimes somebody just catches your eye and you like him. You can't really explain why. Do you guys have any weird guys you liked a lot that you would say was one of your favorites? Even if you're just a 5-year-old and you're like, I like the color blue, you know?
Blue meanie, baby.
Yeah, true.
I remember he was like Blue Dust, and I just thought it was so weird because I knew Gold Dust, and I don't know. And then I didn't think a guy like that fat could do moonsaults. So it was crazy. Like between him and fucking Vader, I don't know. I always thought it was cool they did moonsaults, you know?
Vader's awesome.
Way back, when I was little, I really liked George the Animal Steel because I kind of felt bad for him. Like, with like Elizabeth, like how he loved Elizabeth and all that. I guess I felt bad for him, but yeah, I kind of dug George the Animal Steel.
Oh, people watching this too, don't go too harsh on us for our list. We forgot to even bring up Macho Man, Kevin Nash. We just did
Yeah.
this on the spot. We're gonna sit down and come up with a real list. So don't get mad we didn't say Macho Man. I was Macho Man for Halloween. I love Macho Man.
Macho Man would
He's in the
definitely
top
have to be
10.
in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't get mad at me when I put Val Venus over Macho Man.
Blue beanie over CM Punk, you know.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall probably. He's my favorite of all time, but he wouldn't be my best. He might not even be in my top 20. You know?
Yeah, I have favorites too, like, but
What-
they wouldn't be in the top 10.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Where do you guys rank Eddie Guerrero? Top of your head.
I think he's overrated. Top 50. I gotta say top 50. Maybe a little right after 30, 35. I think he's weirdly overrated.
You didn't love his like lie, cheat, and steal era, and
I
like
did,
with
but
China
it was too short of a run. I thought it was hilarious.
I think you would have Jericho over him.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I never liked Benoit, even before the murder. I was never a Benoit guy. I thought he was boring. No
He was
personality.
too serious. He was just
You know what though? I kind of liked because I felt like during the IC title that era, like they got really into like submissions. Like for a while there was like Kurt Angle and like Jericho and Benoit, and I felt like it was really becoming about submissions for a little bit there, and I thought that was cool. And it was because of Benoit. The Rock and Benoit got in a feud and did a submission match, and that was when The Rock like first started using the sharpshooter. So I don't know. I kind of have like a special place for Benoit, but
Well, you probably watched this feud. My favorite Benoit feud was with Booker T.
refresh me.
They had the best of seven. The best of seven matches. Him and Booker T had like a series against each other. They're going to get.
Shit, I'll remember that.
It was awesome. It was like some of the best matches ever. I love it.
Well, what
Go back
about
and-
Booker? Where's
Yeah.
he rank all time?
He's the best black wrestler of all time.
What
He's
does
at
The Rock
least-
count?
Yeah, I guess The Rock. Well, I guess The Rock would be better. Best 100% black wrestler of all time. He's top 25, probably like 24, 23-ish.
I wouldn't put him that high, personally. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, we really got
Booker?
to sit down and do these. I don't think
Yeah,
Booker's making my
absolutely.
top 25.
Yeah.
Lex Luger, not top 25, but I liked him a
No.
lot. I liked Stidl. Sid was one of my favorites, but I don't think I'd have him top 25.
Where do you guys put Owen Hart?
He wasn't
Great,
there. He wasn't long enough, I think.
great mid-carder guy, not top 50, but great mid-card guy. Should have been a world champion in my opinion. They had a couple chances.
Yeah, if he didn't die, he definitely would have been up there.
If they would have pushed him right after he broke Stone Cold's neck, when he had that shirt, Owen 316, I just broke your neck. He could have been world champ right there, but they kind of I think probably out of respect to Stone Cold, that's pretty offensive to him. Probably why they pulled that. But if they would have went with that, he would have been a world champ, and we'd probably be a lot higher on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Well, then, how about like the best worker? Like I guess we don't have to get into workers now, but Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake, Rowdy Piper were all awesome mid card guys that could have been.
We're
champ.
at 5 minutes.
Cool. You guys want any more on this, or are we calling it a night?
I gotta go eat dinner.
Let me think of a question. Real quick, who's like the best? Like, who should have been a bigger deal, but because of their lack of mic skills, held them back?
RVD.
It's a good answer. I was going to say Shamrock. What do you think,
Yeah,
Jim?
Shamrock too.
Yeah, Shamrock's one. There's so many guys who I feel lack the mic skills, but they're good in the ring. Like, I think right now, the one that most comes to my head is Finn Balor.
Cesaro too. Could be
And
good.
Cesaro, yeah. Like Finn, I feel like if he, was a little bit better on the mic, he'd be one of the top 5 guys right now.
I think AJ Styles should be, but they don't give him enough title reigns. Just talent.
Yeah, they kind of put him out, but I think he's good on the mic. AJ, I think he does good.
Yeah.
Roman's
What do you guys think
actually
about-
somebody
Sorry,
who, they're saying Roman was in that category for me a couple years ago, but he's turned that around big time to where he's probably one of the best promos right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Roman definitely won me over as a fan, and a lot of that I think had to do with his mic skills.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of who we were talking about earlier, if Jeff Hardy was great on the mic, he'd probably be like a 6 or 7 time champion.
Yep, you're right. Jeff Hardy's a good one.
If you download the fucking Uber app, he'd probably be a 6-time champion.
He'd be a tag team champion right now.
I know I went in a little bit, but like for real, like fuck Jeff Hardy. You know, like you really blew it multiple times.
He's like the Winnie Cooper of this generation.
I was actually going to say, when you were asking him about like what he thinks about Jeff Hardy, I'm like, well, what would you do if he started dating Winnie Cooper?
I wanted to put that Winnie Cooper scene on TikTok, but they don't let you do like bullying, so I would have got pulled down. You can't
Really?
You can't do
That would
sexually.
be a great.
I can't post half of my sexist stuff on there too. Like,
Can you put it on YouTube?
Yeah, I can. Well, it's on YouTube fully. I can put, I can put that little clip. I can cut it out and do that. Yeah.
I'm about to burst through Kevin's back door and be like, another thing about Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, there's some like funny sexual lines I wanted to post.
The one with me and you with Roman and Cody. That's a good little back and forth
one.
there. That's a good.
Yeah, that was awesome. What?
You're squealing.
Yeah.
The way your energies kept building each other. It was nuts.
And then when Jake said the Cody's not in the top 15, like,
yeah.
I wish Jake would have been here for this conversation about us like naming our favorite guys.
He'd be like, oh, Tajiri's number 3 all time. Jazz, Sam, gotta love Jake.
Yeah, he should be there for that one, so we can all compare our list. It'll be good. But I'm gonna have some wild ones too. So
yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, I'll ask Jake to do that one too. Honestly, that'll be a good list. I'll mix the numbers up. All right, we got 2 minutes left on here. Jim, you got to go eat.
Yeah.
All right, we'll tell people where to find you. And then Johnny, are we going after the game, or we're not?
No, I got to stay in just in case of Connor. Man, I'm sorry.
All good, brother.
I'm glad I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I probably should. If you want to talk about something too, we can go on another one. It's up to you. But Jim, where can people find you?
At Jim Prendy 54 on TikTok, Facebook, Jimmy Prendergast Jr. Check us out on YouTube, Dollar Club Wrestling and Dollar Club Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe and like, please. We really appreciate it. It's been a blast, and I love doing these things every week.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. So, Johnny, you signing off, or are we coming back on?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna sign off, man. I'm gonna go. Let's watch the finals. I'm gonna get some sleep, but we'll be back next week. Can't wait.
Cool.
I'll try to be on time this time. I'm glad I was able to jump on.
You're your host next week, by the way.
All right, I'll have some topics ready. It'll be fun.
We did entertainment and wrestling tonight, so dealer's choice, whatever one you want to do next week, and then we'll do the opposite the week after, and Jim will be the host the week after. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for watching. Follow us. Please subscribe to Dollar Club Wrestling and Dollar Club Entertainment. Do it, or I'll fuck your mom, like Johnny says.
I make it rhyme, so it's a little more tasteful.
I can't post that on TikTok. You fuck your mom.
How about that new tag team that I came up with?
Dong Hard?
The Rock Hard Dogs.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like a promo against.
I'd buy that for $1.